Have you ever caught a faint, lingering scent that you just couldn't place? A subtle, musty note that seems to persist, even moments after a refreshing shower? It's a deeply unsettling feeling, one that can chip away at your confidence and make you second-guess your own cleanliness. What if I told you that this experience is remarkably common, and that the source of this elusive odor isn't a lack of hygiene, but a lack of knowledge? What if the key to unlocking a profound and lasting sense of freshness lies not in more vigorous scrubbing or more fragrant soaps, but in paying mindful attention to a few forgotten corners of our own personal geography? For many, this concern becomes more pronounced with age, often whispered about under the vague and unhelpful term old people smell. This phrase carries with it a heavy weight of stigma and a sense of inevitability, as if it's a non-negotiable part of the aging process. But the truth is far more empowering. Scientific research has identified a specific compound called 2-nonenal, an unsaturated aldehyde that becomes more prominent on the skin as we get older due to changes in our lipid metabolism. However, its presence and perception are massively influenced by hygiene. The reality is that a significant portion, perhaps as much as 99%, of what is commonly perceived as an unavoidable age-related scent can be dramatically reduced or even eliminated by a simple and targeted shift in our daily cleansing routine. This article is not about shame or criticism. It is a journey of discovery, an invitation to reconnect with your body in a more intimate and caring way. We will embark on an exploration of 5 secret, often neglected areas where sweat, oils, and bacteria quietly conspire to create persistent odors. We will delve into the science of why these specific spots are so prone to this buildup, share relatable stories of those who have navigated this very issue, and provide simple, actionable steps that can transform your sense of well-being. This is about reclaiming your confidence, not through expensive products or complicated rituals, but through the power of awareness. So, I invite you to join us on this exploration. The knowledge you gain today could fundamentally change how you care for yourself, fostering a deeper sense of freshness and comfort for years to come. The first secret zone, the forgotten crevice behind the ears. Let us begin with one of the most deceptively simple yet potent sources of lingering odor, the small, delicate crease of skin directly behind our ears. It's an area we touch dozens of times a day, adjusting glasses, tucking back hair, putting on a mask, yet when it comes to cleansing, it is almost universally overlooked. This small patch of skin is a silent collector, a hidden pocket where the trifecta of odor-causing culprits, sweat, natural skin oils, sebum, and dead skin cells can accumulate undisturbed. The skin behind the ears is uniquely designed to be an odor trap. It is dense with sebaceous glands, the microscopic organs responsible for producing sebum. While sebum is essential for keeping our skin moisturized and protected, an overabundance in a poorly ventilated area creates problems. The crease behind the ear provides a warm, sheltered environment, often further insulated by hair, the arms of eyeglasses, or the constant pressure of headphones or hearing aids. This lack of air circulation prevents sweat from evaporating efficiently, creating a perpetually damp, warm landscape, the perfect breeding ground for bacteria. These microorganisms, part of our natural skin microbiome, feast on the lipids and proteins found in our sweat and sebum, and the waste products they release are what we perceive as unpleasant body odor. Consider the story of Charles, a vibrant 77-year-old man who prided himself on his meticulous daily routine. Despite showering every morning and wearing freshly laundered clothes, he began to notice a persistent, slightly sour scent that seemed to shadow him. It was a source of quiet frustration and embarrassment. One day, his daughter, during a warm hug, gently mentioned it. It was a difficult conversation, but one born of love. Together, they played detective, trying to pinpoint the source. It wasn't his clothes or his breath. Finally, she suggested he check the area behind his ears. To his surprise, when he wiped the area with a damp cloth, he discovered a slight oily residue and a concentrated version of the very scent that had been troubling him. The area had simply been missed in the broad strokes of his daily shower. By incorporating one simple step, gently lathering and rinsing that small spot with a soft washcloth and mild soap each day, the odor that had plagued him for months vanished almost overnight. Charles's story is a powerful testament to the fact that the most significant changes often come from the smallest adjustments. It highlights a crucial point. We often cannot detect our own signature scent because of a phenomenon known as olfactory fatigue or sensory adaptation. Our brain, in its infinite efficiency, learns to filter out constant, non-threatening smells, including our own. This is why a gentle, compassionate observation from a trusted family member or friend can be an invaluable gift, an opportunity for awareness rather than a cause for shame. The solution for this first secret zone is beautifully simple. During your daily face washing or shower, extend that care just an inch backward. Using your fingertips or a soft washcloth, apply a small amount of mild, non-irritating soap and gently massage the crease and the back of the earlobe. Rinse thoroughly to ensure no soap residue remains, and then, most importantly, pat the area completely dry. This last step is critical, as residual moisture is the key ingredient for bacterial proliferation. This isn't about harsh scrubbing, it's about mindful, consistent attention. That was the first secret, a foundational piece of this puzzle. If you recognize the importance of this often overlooked area and are ready to apply this simple change, please comment with the number 1 below to let us know. The second secret zone, the back of the neck and the hairline. Moving from behind the ears, our journey takes us to another frequently neglected region, the back of the neck, particularly along the hairline. This area acts as a natural shelf, quietly catching a cascade of substances throughout the day. It's a convergence point for sweat trickling down from the scalp, sebum produced by the dense hair follicles, and the stubborn residue from hair care products like gels, sprays, and conditioners. Compounding this, the back of the neck is often covered by shirt collars, scarves, or the very hair it supports, creating a warm, humid microclimate that severely limits air circulation. The science at play here is a direct extension of what we see behind the ears, but with added complexity. The nape of the neck is not only rich in sweat and oil glands, but is also constantly abraded by clothing. A starched collar or the fabric of a turtleneck can trap heat and moisture against the skin, while also sloughing off microscopic fabric fibers that get mixed into the biological cocktail of sweat and oil. For those with longer hair, this area can remain damp long after a shower, and the chemicals from shampoos and conditioners, if not rinsed with extreme thoroughness, can leave a film that becomes a food source for odor-producing bacteria. Over time, this buildup can create a distinct, musty odor that seems to emanate from one's clothing or hair, when in reality, its epicenter is this small, hidden patch of skin. Let's think about Edward, a 73-year-old retired teacher who enjoyed gardening. He was confounded by a faint, earthy smell that seemed to cling to him even on days he hadn't been working in the soil. He laundered his work shirts with extra detergent and showered meticulously, yet the scent remained. The aha moment came unexpectedly. His young granddaughter, after giving him a big hug, innocently asked if he had just come in from the garden. That's when the pieces clicked into place. The smell wasn't on his clothes, it was him. He realized that in his haste to wash his face and shampoo his hair, he was completely skipping the back of his neck. The sweat from his gardening hours, combined with the natural oils of his scalp, had been accumulating right at his hairline, trapped by his shirt collar. By simply tilting his head forward in the shower and dedicating a few extra seconds to washing and rinsing this area, the persistent smell was completely gone within a week. Edward's experience underscores how our routines, developed over decades, can have blind spots. We wash what we see in the mirror, our face, our chest, the front of our neck. The back remains out of sight and, consequently, out of mind. The solution, once again, is not about intensity, but about intention. When you shampoo your hair, make a conscious effort to bring the lather all the way down to the nape of your neck, massaging gently with your fingertips. When you rinse, let the water run over this area for a few extra seconds to ensure all product and residue are washed away. Outside of the shower, if you've been sweating or wearing a scarf or high-collared shirt all day, a quick wipe with a damp cloth can make a world of difference. This small act of focused cleansing not only prevents odor, but can also help prevent skin irritation and clogged pores in the area. Have you ever considered how hair products or clothing could be contributing to odor in this specific way? It's a fascinating connection that most of us miss. Don't hesitate to share your own experiences or thoughts on this in the comments section. Every story adds to our collective understanding. We'd love to hear from you. This thoughtful care is a simple investment with a high return. The quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are truly holistically clean. It transforms a mundane daily task into a mindful act of self-respect. If these insights into the back of the neck and hairline have been valuable to you, please support our mission of sharing empowering knowledge by hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel, and turning on the notification bell so you never miss another deep dive like this. The third secret zone, the hidden world of skin folds. We now venture into a territory that is deeply personal and, for many, a source of quiet discomfort. The areas under the breasts or within other folds of the skin, such as around the stomach, in the groin, or under the arms. These areas are, by their very nature, ground zero for the conditions that foster odor. Skin-on-skin contact creates a warm, dark, and airless environment where moisture from perspiration becomes trapped with no chance to evaporate. This is not an issue confined to a particular age or body type. It is a simple matter of anatomy and physics that affects millions of people. The biological process here is potent. The trapped moisture and warmth create an incubator-like setting for bacteria and yeast, which are naturally present on our skin. As these microorganisms multiply, they break down the sweat and dead skin cells that are also trapped in these folds. This process, known as bacterial metabolism, releases volatile organic compounds that have a characteristically strong, pungent odor. Furthermore, the constant friction and moisture can lead to a common and uncomfortable skin condition called intertrigo, which is an inflammation of the skin folds that presents as redness, soreness, and sometimes a raw weeping rash. This inflammation not only exacerbates the odor, but also compromises the skin's protective barrier, making it more susceptible to secondary infections. Linda, a warm and caring 75-year-old grandmother, found herself feeling less and less fresh, despite her diligent daily showers. She felt a persistent dampness and noticed a faint, sour smell by the end of the day, which she privately worried about. During a visit, her daughter, with immense gentleness and empathy, mentioned that she'd noticed a slight odor. This opened the door for a vulnerable but necessary conversation. Together, they realized that the area under Linda's breasts was not being dried properly after her baths. The residual moisture, trapped for hours, was the root cause. The solution was transformative. Linda began to pay special attention to these areas, first by using a soft cloth and mild soap to gently clean within the fold, and then, most crucially, by taking the time to pat the area completely dry with a clean, soft towel. She would even sometimes use a hairdryer on a cool setting to ensure all moisture was gone. The difference was immediate and profound, not just in eliminating the odor, but in restoring her comfort and her confidence. Addressing this issue requires gentleness and consistency. The key is not to scrub, as this can irritate the already sensitive skin, but to cleanse and dry with meticulous care. Use a pH-balanced, mild soap to avoid stripping the skin of its natural protective oils. After washing, pat the area dry. Do not rub. For extra protection, some find that applying a light dusting of a talc-free powder, like cornstarch-based powder, can help absorb excess moisture throughout the day. Choosing the right clothing is also paramount. Fabrics like cotton, bamboo, or moisture-wicking synthetics are far superior to polyester or nylon, as they allow the skin to breathe. Ensuring that undergarments like bras or support wear are clean, well-fitting, and made of breathable material is another critical piece of the puzzle. This is about more than just odor control. It's about skin health and personal comfort. Taking a moment to give these hidden areas the attention they deserve is an act of profound self-care. It prevents discomfort, protects your skin, and grants you the peace of mind that comes with feeling truly fresh all day long. The third secret zone we've discussed is a sensitive but incredibly important one. If this explanation has provided you with a new perspective or a practical solution, please show your acknowledgement by commenting with the number 3 below. Your interaction helps us know which topics resonate most deeply with you. The fourth secret zone, the navel, a forgotten ecosystem. Our fourth stop on this journey is perhaps the most surprising of all, the navel, or belly button. This small, unassuming hollow is the anatomical remnant of our connection to our mother, and in adulthood, it often becomes a forgotten pocket, an overlooked detail in the landscape of our own body. Because it is an enclosed space, especially for those with an innie, an umbilicus inversus, it is a perfect trap for a surprising collection of debris: dead skin cells, lint from clothing, microscopic dirt, and even residue from soaps and lotions that weren't fully rinsed away. The scientific community has taken a fascinating interest in this tiny ecosystem. A 2012 study, famously known as the Belly Button Biodiversity Project, found a staggering variety of bacteria living in the human navel, over 2,300 different species in their initial sample of 60 people, with many being new to science. While most of these bacteria are harmless, the warm, moist, and protected environment of the navel is an ideal place for certain types to overgrow. When this happens, they break down the trapped organic matter, producing a distinctly unpleasant, cheesy, or musty odor. If you have a deeper navel or carry more weight around your midsection, the fold of skin can further enclose the area, exacerbating the warmth and moisture and making it an even more potent odor factory. Consider the case of Harold, an 80-year-old man who was at his wit's end. He was troubled by a musty smell that he couldn't trace. He switched his laundry detergent, tried different deodorants, and showered twice a day, all to no avail. The smell was subtle but persistent, a constant source of self-consciousness. It was his wife who, after reading an article about overlooked hygiene spots, gently suggested he pay some attention to his belly button. Skeptical but willing to try anything, Harold took a cotton swab dipped in warm, soapy water and gently cleaned the inside of his navel. He was astonished by the amount of grime he removed. Within just a couple of days of incorporating this simple cleaning into his daily shower routine, the mysterious odor that had been haunting him for months was completely gone. Harold's revelation is one shared by many who discover this hidden source of odor. The good news is that caring for the navel is exceptionally simple and requires no special products. A soft washcloth, a cotton swab, or even just your fingertip with a bit of mild soap and warm water is all you need. The key is to be gentle to avoid irritating the delicate skin. Gently massage the inside of the navel, ensuring you reach the bottom of the hollow. Afterwards, rinse thoroughly, perhaps by letting shower water run into it and then using a clean finger to swish it out. The final and arguably most important step is drying. Use the corner of a clean towel or a dry cotton swab to gently absorb all the moisture. If moisture is left behind, you are simply resetting the conditions for bacterial growth. This tiny act, taking no more than 10 seconds, can have a remarkable impact on your overall feeling of freshness. It is a perfect example of how the most profound solutions are often hidden in the most obvious yet overlooked places. It reminds us to be curious and thorough in our self-care, to treat our bodies as complex and wondrous systems that deserve our full and mindful attention. If you're finding this deep dive into the body's secret zones insightful, please take a moment to comment with the number 4 below. It's incredibly motivating for us to see you following along on this journey of discovery. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications. Your support allows us to continue creating this kind of valuable, in-depth content. The fifth secret zone, the neglected spaces between the toes. Our final destination is the very foundation of our body, an area that works tirelessly yet often receives the least gratitude and attention: the spaces between our toes. We may wash our feet, but how many of us consciously and carefully clean these small, compressed areas? When encased in socks and shoes for most of the day, these interdigital spaces become one of the warmest, dampest, and most air-starved environments on the entire body. This creates a perfect storm for odor. The skin between our toes is constantly shedding cells, and our feet have one of the highest concentrations of sweat glands in the body, about 250,000 in total. Unlike sweat from our underarms, foot sweat doesn't contain the same proteins, so it's initially odorless. The problem arises when this copious amount of sweat gets trapped between the toes, soaking the dead skin cells and creating a soggy, nutrient-rich paste. This environment is not only a paradise for odor-causing bacteria, like Brevibacterium, the same bacteria used to ripen Limburger cheese, but it is also the ideal breeding ground for fungus. The odor can be powerful and sharp, and it has a tendency to permeate our socks, shoes, and even seep into carpets and slippers, making it seem like a household problem rather than a personal hygiene one. Let's hear from George, a 78-year-old who loved his daily walks but was increasingly embarrassed by a sour, persistent foot odor. He tried medicated powders, antifungal sprays, and constantly rotated his shoes, but nothing seemed to conquer the smell. During a routine checkup, his podiatrist asked a simple question. When you wash your feet, do you wash between your toes? George admitted he mostly just let the soapy water run over them. The podiatrist explained the importance of this small detail. Following this advice, George began to take an extra 30 seconds in the shower to use a soft washcloth to gently clean between each and every toe. He followed this with a meticulous drying process, even using a separate small towel just for his feet to ensure no moisture remained. The change was not gradual, it was dramatic. The odor that had plagued him for years began to dissipate within a week. George's story is a powerful reminder that thoroughness is key. Beyond odor control, proper hygiene between the toes is critical for preventing common and stubborn fungal infections like athlete's foot, tinea pedis. Signs of this condition include itching, stinging, redness, and peeling skin, all of which are much easier to prevent than to treat. The solution is straightforward. In the shower or bath, take the time to gently glide a soapy finger or washcloth through each web space. After washing, drying is non-negotiable. Pat the entire foot dry and then pay special attention to drying between the toes. For those with mobility issues that make reaching the feet difficult, long-handled brushes with soft bristles or flexible foot scrubbers are excellent tools. Furthermore, your choice of footwear and socks plays a massive role. Opt for socks made from natural, breathable fibers like wool or bamboo, or specialized synthetic blends that wick moisture away from the skin. Cotton, while comfortable, tends to hold moisture. It's also wise to rotate your shoes, giving each pair at least 24 hours to dry out completely before wearing them again. Letting your feet breathe by going barefoot at home, when safe to do so, can also make a significant difference. Taking care of this final secret zone is not just about eliminating a bad smell. It is about honoring the part of your body that carries you through the world, ensuring its health, comfort, and freshness. The connection between the tiny spaces between our toes and overall body odor is often underestimated. Have you ever struggled with foot odor and found a specific trick or product that worked wonders? Please share your experience in the comments below. Your practical tips could be a game changer for someone else in this community. As we conclude this journey through the 5 hidden odor zones of the body, behind the ears, the back of the neck, within skin folds, the navel, and between the toes, I hope a new perspective has emerged. I hope you see that the path to feeling truly and lastingly fresh is not paved with expensive products or punishing routines. It is instead a path of mindful attention, gentle care, and a deeper understanding of your own body. Which of these 5 spots was the biggest revelation for you? Was it the unassuming navel, the overlooked hairline, or the neglected spaces between your toes? The core message is one of empowerment. The subtle, persistent odors that can cause so much quiet anxiety are not an inevitable verdict of age or body type. They are, in large part, a problem with a simple, elegant solution: awareness. By incorporating these small, targeted steps into your daily cleansing ritual, you are not just washing your body, you are practicing a form of profound self-respect. Each gentle wipe behind the ear, each careful drying of a skin fold is a small declaration that you are worthy of comfort, confidence, and care. This knowledge transforms hygiene from a chore into a ritual. It is an opportunity to connect with your body, to listen to its needs, and to respond with kindness. These simple acts can ripple outward, boosting your self-esteem, enhancing your social confidence, and contributing to your overall sense of well-being and dignity at any stage of life. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. Your family, your community, and healthcare professionals are all resources to support you in feeling your absolute best. After all this analysis, what is the single most important lesson you've learned for yourself today? Perhaps it's a specific cleaning technique you plan to adopt or a new way of thinking about self-care. We would be genuinely honored to hear your reflections in the comments section below. Your thoughts and stories are the lifeblood of this community. They provide motivation for us and inspiration for others. Thank you for investing your time with us today. If this article has brought value to your life, please show your support by giving it a like and subscribing to our channel. Your engagement helps us continue our mission to create content that informs, inspires, and empowers. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.